Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? It has been an awesome, awesome Tuesday. I want you to know that I recorded this entire broadcast, and guess what? It did not record. I went through a different means and it did not decide to upload. So we're going to try this again this happy Tuesday, and hopefully we'll get it out there and people will be able to kind of jump in and join along in the event. But I hope that everyone is doing well. I hope that you are having a great week so far and that you have had some time to go back and review the previous broadcast that we did, that I did, and kind of get an idea of where we're going with this, what we're trying to do, and really set everybody up for as we go in. So in case you don't know who I am Dawn Marie Alexander Borsico, your uncommon voice, life coach and consultant. And this is Life is Only a Decision, where we're just looking at managing life and dealing with challenges that come along in our daily life, in our walk, in our daily life, and what we do, and how can we improve? How can we grow? Life is only a decision, because sometimes though there are things that really are just only a decision, and we don't like hearing that sometimes, but life is a decision. And once we choose to make that decision, once we recognize, okay, I need to change, I need to make some differences because I'm not achieving my goals, then that's what I have to do. But it always starts with a decision, and which one we make and how we go from there, because that decision lays the foundation for the trajectory of where we're going. And what we've been talking about over the last few weeks is fourth quarter living. Fourth quarter living. Hello, I'm glad that you were able to join us today. Fourth quarter, what is that? What are we talking about? Well, as we're ending up September, we want to make sure that we're going into our fourth quarter, October, November, and December, that we're going into it with an absolute bang. Why? So that we can set up and really smoothly go into 2022. But it starts with the fourth quarter, and people tend to give up on their goals in fourth quarter. Oh, well, I didn't make it. It doesn't matter. It's the end of the year. It doesn't matter, but it does matter. And it does. And then how are you going into it personally? How are you going into it financially? How are you going into it business-wise? How are you going into it? What challenges are you facing? What are you willing to deal with? What are you not? That's going to help you achieve that next level. And how are we going to get there? So we talked about it's a decision. As we go into the fourth quarter, what are some things that we're facing? What are some things that are coming against us personally, business-wise, that might be affecting how we end the year and how we go into the next year? We talked about finances for your business, finances for you personally. If you do not know where your finances are going, if you don't have a track on what you spend, when you spend it, and why you spend it, because I promise you, if you really start looking at your bank account and where your money goes and budgeting, you'll start going, I'm spending how much on what? And it could be a dollar. I was doing that once many years ago. I would always go and get a dollar fry. A dollar fry was my thing at the restaurant that was by my job. I would get a dollar fry. And then if I was feeling froggy, I'd spend $5, thinking that, oh, I'm only spending a dollar. I'm great. But when I looked at it at the end of the month, oh my gosh. And then when I looked at my Starbucks, we won't even talk about my Starbucks. Okay, that's just a whole new meaning. But they talk about the Latte Factor. Now, I don't have a lot of vices. I don't go out or do a lot of things that are going to take my finances unnecessarily, but it's my happy place. It's the one thing that I do that's for me. But I started to see how much I was spending on Starbucks for the month. It was a small fortune. Yeah, you'd be amazed at $5 a month or $5 a day. You'd be amazed. It's like people who smoke and they stop and they just take that smoke money and put it away. I mean, they could have $100 at the end of the month because of what they were spending on smoking. So knowing your finances, being able to budget, manage your finances is the key to financial freedom. It's the key to what's happening, especially with what we've seen happen in 2021, where so many other outside factors are determining whether you work, don't work, and how much you make if you do work. We've never seen anything like this before. And therefore, it's important to manage our finances. Just going, oh, I don't, being content with average should not be any of us. It's not listening to this. We should not be content with not having a couple, at least 1,000 or two in the bank. I mean, we work, 2,080 hours a year, and we don't have $500, $1,000 or two in the bank. Then we need to we look at our finances. We need to look at what are we spending our money on, because we always want to be in a place where we are free and not beholden or stressed in having to get to that job, not being able to take a vacation, not being able to take sick time if you're ill. Nowadays, you don't pretty much have a choice, but you want to be free. And freedom requires your finances to be in check, even for your business. If you're an entrepreneur, if you are a franchisor, knowing where your finances are personally and business-wise are going to let you know, can you scale? Where do you scale? Where your money is going for marketing and so forth. So it is very important, if you truly want to live a free life, you must manage your finances to be able to go where you want to go, when you want to go, and how you get there. You cannot do that if you do not know or where your money is going and where your money is coming from. We have to learn to be producers of income and not only consumers of income. Some people are just fine with nothing, and we should never be fine with nothing. Number two, we talked about conflict. What's going on with that conflict? What are we doing? Are we choosing to stay in conflict, or do we want to find out how do we resolve the conflict? Some conflicts will not be resolved because we don't care about the relationship, but we are able to manage through it to get to a place of peace, to get the issue resolved. Sometimes it might not be resolved, or you may determine that issue may not have the weight that you want it to have based on the relationship that you want to keep. So if you want the relationship, whether it be a marital relationship, a friend relationship, an employer relationship, co-worker, it doesn't matter. What is the issue and what's more important? If you need to keep your job, then the issue may not be important. It may not be. If it's an issue that you're not willing to do, like come in on weekends, then that's another conversation. You still have to make that decision and then work through it. Again, managing your finances helps with that in case you need to make some decisions. But again, how are you dealing with conflict? Families coming up, family seasons coming up with the holidays. How are you going to interact? Because people are so different now. Things that we didn't argue about, we are arguing about. So finding that happy place, finding that place of saying, we don't want to go there. And then recognizing the different emotions and interests and aspect of that conflict that may keep it going, or that you may not be aware. You may not be aware that Auntie Susie really wanted Aunt Bessie's dress, and you got the dress in the wheel, but you didn't know what it meant to Aunt Susie. So now Aunt Susie has a beef with you. But by understanding the interest and the emotions surrounding that conflict are going to help you better. It's going to help you better understand and decide, I can let this go. It doesn't mean that much to me. It means more to her. And having this relationship means more. Not talking about things. Because I just value the relationship. Let us enjoy together what we can enjoy together. And then from there, we can live our separate lives. I'll go make cookies and you can go make muffins if that's what, we don't need to argue about it, because we want relationships to have more value to people than not having it at all. And I think that's the weight that we come down to, is that, the relationship has to mean something. And I think oftentimes in conflict, it hurts when people have chosen something that could change tomorrow, or they've chosen an ideology that trumps the relationship. And then people are hurt and offended. Nowadays, everybody's getting offended, but by being able to navigate through handling conflict, it's going to help you. And then, next we talked about some reflection, dealing with past things. If you haven't taken that time and taking that inventory. So I'm going to go over a little bit of that today. As you're preparing for your fourth quarter, as you're preparing your budget financially for your business and for your personal, as you're taking inventory over your life, as you're preparing to say, okay, we're getting these tickets to go see our family, and we know we have some differences, preparing for how you're going to handle that conflict. And then lastly, I'm going to say for today is we want to take time to reflect. What areas are you looking to improve? We talked about this before, but it bears repeating again. What areas of your life are you looking to improve, and how do you do it? Are you a lister? Do you want to list everything down like a bucket list and then just start tackling it and assigning dates and things to achieve those goals? Or are you a time blocker where you want to block everything? Well, the first goal is to dump everything out so that you don't forget anything. If you want to take a trip to Paris and you want to go travel around, the 50 states, and you want to save, $5,000 by the end of the year, writing that down is important, and then putting a tracking system in place. Whether you're going to track by day, track by the week, month, creating those routines that are going to get you where you need to be, so that you're always understanding where your finances are, where you are personally, what you want to do. So really taking that time to be reflective. We know too often people give up at this time of the year, and there's no reason to give up. You can still have an effective, productive 2021 because you're setting up for 2022, and now you're reflecting, you're looking at everything. Life literally is only a decision. That may seem very simplistic. Oh, you're just making it, you don't know what I'm going through, Dawn Marie. You don't understand my situation. I may not. But too often, what happens is we don't want to make the decision. We don't want to look in the mirror and deal with the root of the problem. Too often, we want to hold on to everything and go, oh, but it's too hard. Oh, but I can't do that. Oh, but you don't understand, but you don't know. But what happens is sometimes we just don't want to deal with us. We don't want to make the sacrifice. We want to stay in pride. We want to stay in our own feelings and our own emotions that keep us stuck because we're unwilling to say, I have to make a decision. I need to make a decision. I'm going to make a decision that I'm going to lose this 50 pounds by any means necessary. Now, what do I need to do? And then from there, you start putting things in place. You put the plan, the task in place of what you need to do. If you want to save X number of dollars by the end of the year, then what do you need to do? If you're tired of living check to check, then you have to determine, well, what is my absolute outgoing? If I want to have better relationships and read more, then you need to take an inventory of your life and make a decision. It might be, you know what, I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to go ahead and splurge. I'm going to buy my DVR because I can then record all my programs, and then I want to read more. So then on Fridays and Saturdays, those are my binge days. Those are my binge days to watch my television shows, and it's a DVR so I can record it and skip past the commercials. It is a decision. It's not anybody else's decision. It's yours. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to create it so that you can get to your goals? It's not anybody else's goals, and they're not going to have your plan because they're not you. You are uniquely, beautifully, and wonderfully made. So therefore, the plan that you create for yourself is going to be designed for you. Now, when I was a mortgage lender, I always told my clients, I said, you're going to have to sacrifice something. I don't know what it is, but you're going to have to sacrifice something. You can't keep doing what you've been doing and think that it's going to work. But I don't want any of you to live mediocre. I don't want you to live average. I don't want you to think, oh, well, I've never had it. Well, I've never done it. Well, I'm not this, and think that that's it. No, there's more, and you can set it up. And the beauty of that is that as you see yourself doing that, you will find the freedom The freedom of change, when you begin to see your body transform, when you pick a meal, when you change your lifestyle for your health and wellness. When you're able, when you have money in the bank and you're able, and you have a situation come up and you're going, it didn't even phase me. I was able to handle that no problem. And I didn't have to put it on a credit card and go into debt. So I want you to think about those things, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think about really, where do you want your life to be? Life, it really is only a decision. And yes, it hurts. And yes, sometimes life kicks you in the teeth and asks questions later. And yes, it doesn't always feel good. Yes, it doesn't always feel good. But the goal, the thing is that when you begin to do it, it breeds such freedom. You know where things are in your life. What I would like you to do for me is that I really want to help you along this journey. I want to help you, in 2021 well, and move into 2022 like a bang. What are some areas that you're struggling with? What are some areas that you want to improve? What are those areas where you're like, oh my God, this is a drudgery. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. Then let's come alongside each other and let's encourage one another on how to get there, how to move past where you are to get to where you want to be. My goal is to help you become the leader that's inside of you. Some leaders are born and some leaders are nurtured, but either way it goes, a leader is still there. And then helping you to increase your performance in those areas where you want to increase. And then as we have increased that, let's align it with our values. We can't say one thing and kind of live another. We can't want to be bang up over here and then yet we're struggling somewhere. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, let's say, fake it till you make it. But then when you don't have to, why should you? Why? Because we want to align with our values. We want to align. Every aspect of our life should be in an alignment. Think of it like your back. If your back hurts or when you're in pain, it's like when you're in pain or your back hurts, nothing works. It's like, oh my God, I'm in pain. You don't want to move anything. And then once that pain is gone, you literally feel free. So I hope this has helped you today. Again, go back and review your finances. Go back and review how you want to handle conflict. And then look at today, really going back and bringing it all together as we come towards the end. I think next week is the last week of September, and we're really moving into the fourth quarter of the year. And I want you to drop some things in the line. What questions do you have? What do you want suggestions on? What areas do you want to improve? And what topics would you like to talk about as we move into our fourth quarter of the year for 2021? I want to be here as your life coach to help you to do that. So with that being said, again, my name is Dawn Marie Alexander Borsico, aka an Uncommon Voice of an Uncommon Voice Coaching and Consulting. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you soon, like next week. Please share this with your friend if you found it beneficial, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.